Bigger virtues that we have. Currently one, it's just me.
Okay, is everybody ready? We live? Good evening. Today is Wednesday, December 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Actually 6:04. Sorry, we're a little late this evening. We are in the Brecksville-Bobby Heights Education Center, 6638 Mill Road, Brecksville, Ohio. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. Public participation is governed by Board Bylaw 0169.1, public participation at board meetings. This meeting will be live streamed via YouTube and will also be recorded for later viewing. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel where all recordings are posted. Item 1B, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 1C, roll call.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kramer,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Mara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes. Item 2A, announce president's announcements. I actually have an announcement this week or this month, so we're going to change it up. So not only is tonight our last and final school board meeting for 2025, it is also the final school board meeting for Ellen Kramer, who is completing her 8th year of dedicated service to our school district. Not only that, but Ellen has served at a point in time where arguably was the most challenging to serve as a school board member during a global pandemic. Through it all, Ellen has always brought passion and energy and dedication. She has never backed down from pursuing change that she felt was in the best interests of our students, our families, our staff, and our community. And you can't ask for more than that for a school board member. So on behalf of the entire school district and the Board of Education, I want to extend to you our great appreciation for all of your 8 years of dedicated service. So thank you and Godspeed in the road ahead. All right. Any other comments?
I just say ditto to all of that. It's been an absolute privilege to serve with you. I do wish you the best.
Thanks.
I do too. You were a mentor to me, and I so appreciated your reaching out when I felt like I was just stumbling around. Thank you, Ellen.
And same ditto on everything. And I do want to say, I don't know if people realize the amount of advocacy you've done for this district on the state level, reaching out to our elected officials. So thank you for that. I mean, you've really been in contact with our elected officials at the state level. You've been kept us informed of what's going on in the state. I mean, you've been such a passionate advocate for this district and for public schools in general. And I really hope the rest of us can take up that banner and follow your example. And I appreciate you and I admire you. And, you've always pushed me to be like a better community member and board member. So I appreciate you.
I just have a quick little statement since it's my last meeting. I just wanted to, I know nobody's at this meeting except, or a very small number of people. I wanted to express my gratitude to the communities for giving me the honor of serving on the school board. I learned a lot. I've met a lot of many inspiring people, many of whom are in the room this evening. And I hope that I did make some sort of positive impact on our students and our absolute gem of a school district. I do want to emphasize to the current board and to Mr. Chase, who's here, that there are some dark clouds on the horizon for our public schools. So just, keep the students in the forefront and we're in good hands, but keep the advocacy up because our students really need it right now in light of what's going on at the state level. But anyway, thank you.
You.
Thank you. Moving on to item 2B, notice of consent agenda. Do any board members wish to remove any items from the consent agenda?
No.
No. Moving on. Okay. Moving on to item 3, board areas of responsibility. Legislatively OSB liaison, Ellen, any final report?
It's something, I'm gonna have Craig do it because it's some financial legislation. He's gonna explain it much
Okay.
better than
Do
I would.
the quick versions of it. No, she had asked if I would talk about, which some of these were actually mentioned in, I guess, the next episode of the podcast, maybe. I don't remember.
You had to find a way to get that podcast
I had to get
in
it
there.
kind of way. So there's 4 bills that are currently sitting with Governor DeWine's desk. They were actually delivered yesterday. So they have 10 days, he has 10 days to veto them or sign them. If he does nothing with them, they will become law. And that is, the first one is House Bill 186, which is the inflation cap and credit overhaul to protect homeowners from large tax spikes related to the 20 mil floor. So that is sitting there. Again, the ones we've advocated for, these currently do not affect our district, which is positive for the time being, but it is affecting public education as a whole. Some districts are slated to lose millions of dollars over the course of the next couple of years due to the 4 legislative bills that are presented here, waiting for the signature, and they've been passed by the House and the Senate. House Bill 335 would be capping inside millage, which we've talked about this before, that inside millage grows at the same rate as what the appraisals are. So with that 22 to 24%, it does grow. It is a very small portion of unvoted millage. Some people look at this as it's a compromise and it's okay, but when that doesn't grow, because it will not help us extend a levy cycle. So this last round of a reappraisal that we went through, the total inside millage that we received was about $1 million of extra revenue out of from the whole community and residential and commercial. If that were only capped at 3%, it would have virtually been nothing, which is again, okay. But if it's not being supplemented by some other source of revenue, it's just going to cause you'd have to go out to the voters in a different way, which would be a voted type of issue. House Bill 129 is the school levy reform to close loopholes on how the minimum tax rate of the floor is calculated. So that's the restriction of some of these different types of levies, with fixed sum levies in particular. Again, does not affect us, but it does affect a lot of schools in the state. And then the last bill is House Bill 309, which is the Extended Budget Commission's authority, where a budget commission can basically reduce the amount of millage that a school district needs to collect if they just deem, in fact, that they don't need it. So it gives that local control piece from a local board of education outside to a different group of individuals who don't necessarily live in the community and have that vested interest where they can make those decisions. So I've encouraged the governor to veto them. Our professional organizations have as well, because as a whole, this is all bad for public education. Even though, again, we want to reiterate that we understand that the property tax crisis is real and the people are feeling it, but the solution is that the state pays their fair share. So I hope I recapped those.
You did, and you did, those letters you wrote were fabulous. Thank you for doing that.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you listen to the upcoming podcast that's coming out, he actually has different names for each one of those bills, which he refrained from tonight. So I'm proud of you. But tune into the podcast, a cliffhanger for you.
That's a little teaser then. for
Mhm.
this Podcast. Find
Out
out
next week, right?
what
That's right,
Craig's-
17.
what Craig's pet names are for the House
Yeah.
bill.
Yep.
Okay. We'll dial in. Okay, we're going to move on to Cuyahoga Valley Career Center. Ava.
I have nothing to report.
Okay, curriculum, Tish.
Okay, so a lot of what I'm gonna share in this report is kind of follow up from what was shared in November. We just had the Thanksgiving holiday and our students got that entire week off. And some of our teachers, most of our teachers got that entire week off because they completed personalized professional learning for the 2 days, to make it for the 2 days, on Monday and Tuesday of that week. And Dr. Martin notes, and I think it's just important that the community know that this was an innovative approach to professional development for our staff, and it was a huge success. Dr. Martin says that it's been one of the greatest successes and accomplishments in recent history for our staff, and that was brought to challenge by our superintendent, saying, let's do something innovative. We had 250 certificated staff members participate, and the entire hours accrued were 3,691.5 professional development hours that were completed by our staff. And many of our staff went over and above the 14 hours that they were required to engage in. So when your staff find it that meaningful to continue to grow their skills through professional development, I think that speaks a lot about their dedication and their commitment to their craft, to our students. So wanted to share that. I talked last month about the 21 staff members that went to the TESOL conference. And that was a huge success. We had 3 staff members present, and they did very well. So I think that it's important to also share that with the community, that we have teacher leaders out presenting at the state level and beyond. It's fantastic. And then our 6 to 12 curriculum frameworks are up. They are up for viewing on our website. So please go and take a look at those. And then I talked last month about our EVAS data. EVAS is EVAAS, stands for Education Value Added Assessment System. So that's our growth data, our value added. Did our kids grow? And Dr. Martin and our instructional specialist, Scott Kinkoff, are still in the middle of disaggregating that, analyzing that data. We have received our 3rd grade OST, fall OST reading results, and they are in the middle of analyzing that data as well. One last piece, and then I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Martin to kind of explain, is that we are going to vote on our Amplify 6 to 8 English Language Arts curriculum tonight. And so I'm going to let him kind of discuss that, if that's okay for a second.
You want an hour and a half? Absolutely, speed you right up. Go old school tonight, that's okay.
I love that. I love that.
No screens.
That's right.
Double-sided or no?
Oh, in typical Martin.
Thank goodness.
Double sided, single. Hey,
Oh, nice.
like dissertation.
That's perfect.
I had to take one and pass them. Awesome, awesome. So yeah, this is,
I'm really happy to speak about this adoption because, as you know, we have been trying to singularly focus on ELA K-12. ELA is down statewide, nationwide, and we really need to address it. I want to be the first district that addresses it and addresses it successfully, and I want to see all of our kids grow in ELA. And I think with this adoption, Amplify 6-8, should you approve it tonight, we are one step closer. So it was a process, a typical process that we have done for several years now, very rigorous, started with conversations and dialogue last year. We don't have to adopt a middle school ELA curriculum. There is no mandate from the state. There's no list of what to choose from, similar to what you approved for CKLA at K-5. But we want to get ahead of the game. And should the state have something out there, we're pretty confident that Amplify would be on there. But again, I think that having something in place now is only going to strengthen the coherency of ELA from K-5, 6-8, and then 9-12. Same as before, very rigorous. We had a process in place. It was quick. We gathered the teachers together on 3 different occasions to listen to the companies. Then we polled them by grade level. And they have been doing what most middle schools have been doing, which is like readers, writers workshop. So it's been a lot of kind of your classroom, you're doing your ELA, and it wasn't very consistent and coherent, not too systematic. Gather a lot of information from the department, the ELA department. They went back and we had surveys on what they were seeking. They were seeking coherency and verticality with the ELA department. So they have been involved for a couple of years now. We use that data and came up with, we're either going to go Amplify, which would be a K-8 consistency, or we were going to go HMH, which would have been 6-12. We went Amplify. So we couldn't have gone wrong. They were both good, but we went Amplify K-8. And I'm going to kind of just go over a few of the reasons why. They were very similar, but we believe that Amplify outperformed HMH in a few areas. First and foremost, we believe that Amplify was stronger as a sequential, content-rich ELA building curriculum over time, meaning that the knowledge and the skills build over time from 6 to 8. And again, imagine a student who has had a knowledge building, a rich, content-rich knowledge building curriculum, K-5, go to our middle school, 6-8, get more content, assuming they all know the code and they're accurate and automatic. We just are very excited about the future for that. We also think that Amplify was stronger in aligning with the science of reading and the reading rope. HMH made some claims and they do align in some areas. We just believe that Amplify aligned fully. One of the big reasons that we saw was the connection to cognitive science. And we saw that Amplify was better aligned, implemented more cognitive science strategies and methodologies than the competitor, than HMH, such as space practice, retrieval practice, etc. We also think that Amplify is more teacher-friendly and usable. One of the big things that Amplify has is they give the teachers a lead-in and a good, I love it because it's like me, it's a good page and a half, 2 pages of content. This is what you're going to learn about, because teachers are going to have to learn some of this content, and this is what you're going to teach the kids. So it kind of gave the cliff notes to the teacher on getting up to speed with the content. We believe Amplify was stronger there. None of the programs are strong, particularly as in the older grades, in grammar, vocabulary, and writing. They're there, but they're not as strong as we would like. Writing is the big one. You've heard me talk about the writing revolution several times. We have a multi-year plan for that. We had a phenomenal writing revolution workshop today. You know, I can talk about this.
I know.
You know, it was great. But Amplify lends itself better to the implementation of the writing revolution. So in the long run, I've already had, when we were going through this process, I already had at least 8 middle school teachers pick up the writing revolution book. I know there were a number of ISs that also want the writing revolution book. We call them revolutionaries now. They're the writing revolutionaries. We're starting a writing revolution. So for those reasons, we think that we fare better with Amplify 6-8 ELA. Questions? It's an important decision, and that's why I just wanted to steal a few minutes to reiterate that point.
So what's the timeline to implement the new curriculum then?
We want to push it up. Normally, remember, you all approved a change in the calendar. We're ahead of that this year. We want to give them all the necessary training in the winter and the spring, so that we set them up for a great launch and start in the fall. And then we could use the existing days in August now. to get them going. So we want all teachers, when they leave in the spring for summer, they might be putting in for personalized professional learning through plant approval, but we want them formally trained, all of them now, before we get to the fall. And I think that is very amenable to the teachers to know that they'll have that. We'll do some refreshers in August, but to have that before they go out in summer can be comforting to them. What else?
I just appreciate that. I mean, I think laying out the work that goes into,
This was
I've talked about it
abbreviated form.
before, you know, the work that goes into, evaluating, assessing, curriculum, getting down to adoption, but it takes time, takes effort. You've got a plan, implementation. It's a lot of work and, just appreciate it.
Thank you.
Because it's,
Fun work.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's important for moving our kids forward.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, we're gonna move on to finance. Myself and Tish, we are in the middle of the audit. In progress.
I've got,
Oh, sure.
are
I'm sorry.
you, well, yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna go ahead and give an update if you, unless you want to.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, yes.
Are
So
we done with curriculum or not?
Yes.
we are done.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I jumped the. Well, that's true. Curriculum never really ends. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Good point. Thanks for that
Yeah.
correction. Yes,
So are you good with me doing finance?
I am absolutely.
So, yes, the audit is progressing. Our gap audit report, was received from the auditor of state. Everything is in order with that, good order. It's been filed with the state. So that's the gap, audit report is taken care of. Our financial audit fieldwork, that started last week, right? We had, the auditors in, they were on site all of last week and completed their audit field work where we had to provide them all the necessary paperwork that they request. So we're in process with that. And then the one that everyone might find most interesting is the auditor of state has informed districts that they can no longer pay for fees, payment processing fees on site. So many people have come in, and they pay by credit card here in the district, their fees. Well, and the district absorbs the fees for that. Well, we can't do that anymore. So Craig has worked with Pay Schools and we think there's going to be a fix coming in January, just to let everybody know. Okay. That's it for finance.
Okay, I bet you could do the transportation update. Go give it a shot. I bet you can do it. You just take your guess.
Take a guess, because I've heard Mr. Dosen say this several times.
Okay.
There's no transportation appeals or anything that needs to be handled currently.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right, you want to switch? First, let's switch chairs and then you can move. All right, we're going to go to board policy, Lisa and Ellen.
Tish could probably do this one too. We don't have, we just have policies on the agenda for a final reading.
Yep.
So, and we talked about them last meeting.
Okay, BBH Schools Foundation, Tish.
I'm back. So the Schools Foundation shared last month and will continue to share every month going forward. Their fundraiser for the year is scheduled. So I asked you to put it on your calendar last month. So I'm going to ask you every month going forward. It will be February 26th of 2026. It is a toast to our future, again at Michelangelo's at 6:30 in the evening. Ticket sales will be forthcoming. So be on the lookout for that. Everything is out on social media. So follow it, hit that you're going to attend. We appreciate that. If you are interested in donating an auction package to this year's event, please email the schools foundation at fundraising@bbhsf.org. We appreciate it. That's it.
Okay, thanks. Moving on to safety, Ava and Lisa.
No update.
Sustainability. Do you want Tish to give this update? Sustainability,
I'm good.
Ava and Ellen.
I do know that just today we were sent an email to schedule the next sustainability meeting. I'm hoping that other people that were interested in the official formation of the committee have not met, and not let me know. I'll make sure. But we're moving right on.
All right, PSO, Lisa.
The elementary school PSO hosted their annual holiday shop and book fair this last Saturday. That's, I don't have an elementary school anymore. I'm kind of sad because I really like that event. It's very fun. The PSO sets up basically a whole shop that the kids can come through, and we have high school volunteers that come out and help the kids shop, and it's really a fun event. I know I always hear a lot of great feedback about it. So thank you to PSO for organizing that. At the middle school, the PSO is hosting the B-Buck store twice a month on Fridays. I think I mentioned it before, but it's students can earn B-Bucks for doing the right thing and positive reinforcement, and they can trade them in for prizes at the B-Buck store. So the PSO needs volunteers to help run the store, which is very fun, or donations. So if you have any fun little tchotchkes around the house or candy, they love candy. They love caramel apple pops and like all these different things. So it's funny to see the things they really want to buy from the B-Buck store. The high school PSO is hosting their holiday breakfast tomorrow. And actually it's going to be at Panera at 9 o'clock. Is that when you guys are having your coffee talk?
Yeah, I got an invitation and I said to the person inviting me, I said, I will be there.
Yeah.
We have our coffee chat, same time, same place. So
Okay. So
Yep.
you're going to have a good crowd tomorrow of people who are eating breakfast with PSO and excited to hear about your coffee talk. So. And PSO Council won't have a meeting in January. They always skip January, take it off. And so the next meeting is February 5th.
Okay, co-curricular, extracurricular, Tish and Lisa.
You want to go? You want to start? You want
Yeah,
to start?
I can.
Okay.
Just I wanted to mention that the high school had their induction ceremony for National Honor Society on December 4th, and they inducted 92 new students, which is from the junior and senior class. And I don't know if people know, but in order to qualify for National Honor Society, you have to have a GPA of 3.75 or above. And then when students have that GPA, they're invited to apply, and their application has to show evidence of leadership, service, school and community activities each year of high school. And then they also have to secure a recommendation from a faculty member who can speak to their character. So it's really exciting that we have so many kids that not only are achieving at that high academic level, but then also in terms of leadership and all the activities they're in and community service and just all the pillars of National Honor Society. It's really exciting. And then robotics hosted the first of their two home tournaments on December 6th. There was 46 teams that came from all around Ohio, and our BBH teams won multiple awards. There's probably like 8 listed here for the different teams because they always do really well. And then I just wanted to mention that the music department's hosting the Madrigal Dinner this weekend, December 12th and 13th. If you've never been to that, it's a really nice event. It showcases our choirs, our music students, and there's food and Christmas music, and it's really great. I don't know if there's any tickets left, so I might be talking about a fun event that you can't buy tickets to anymore, but yeah, if you have tickets, I'm excited for you. It's going to be really nice.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, you covered two or three things already. The only thing that I really had to add to that is Rocco Dean, who is a senior member of our boys soccer team, was just named to the 2025 United Soccer Coaches All-American team. It's quite an honor. So just giving a shout out to Rocco. That's a lot of work and effort to be recognized for your excellence in your sport at the national level like that. And then just to state that our winter sports are in full swing. We are coming up on Christmas break and it's a great time to get to see our, athletes competing during the break time. So hit up a basketball game, a wrestling match. Gymnastics has their first meet. Our state champion gymnastics team has their first meet tomorrow night at home. And they will also be competing during the break. So just community, get out and see our athletes. They are doing amazing things. And follow them on socials so that you can keep up with their calendars. That's really it.
We just confirmed Magical Dinner is sold out.
Okay, yeah. I thought so, but
Okay, permanent improvement facilities, myself and Ellen. There's nothing new going on, right?
There's a lot of things going on.
Well,
In facilities, just real quick, not to steal Jeff's thunder if he was gonna chime in here, but the tennis courts, we're looking to possibly go out to bid next month.
okay,
To get that fix done. That'll be the next step, is could be February, but ideally, January. And then the 19th next week, we'll have
Early estimates between $300,000 to $400,000.
to fix it. Which hopefully we will be able to recoup. And then just to remind, we did the bid is currently out for the road. And the bids will be open on the 19th, which is next week. So hopefully good news.
We had 5 contractors in for the pre-bid meeting, so that's a good sign.
Mhm.
And then athletics and Mr. Koss are finalizing stuff for the scoreboard, replacing the scoreboard at the stadium. And then as we know, the turf project will be this summer. So it's been a busy time.
The scoreboard project, so we know, is being privately funded. Donations upwards of $300,000 in total for the work that needs to be done for the install plus the scoreboard itself. So it's coming from a private donation, as well as the Athletic Booster Club has been putting money away for the past several years to help cover a portion of the cost. So we appreciate those donations, because we wouldn't be able to provide some of the services and or facilities that we have without those donations.
so just out of curiosity, were we having issues with our old scoreboard, or was this just a?
No,
new
this is, we
improved-
hold our breath every time we flip the switch on for the current scoreboard, because we just hope it comes on. It has been functioning, but it has lived its life. And it's hard to find replacement parts. Anytime something does break on it, they have to find used parts somewhere to fix it. So it's getting to that point. Plus, when you go to most of the facilities that we go to nowadays, it's far beyond what we currently have. So, and there will be some revenue generating opportunities with this new board. It'll be complete digital board. So you can change it based on the sport, because scoreboards look different in different sports, but a vast majority of the board will be able to house advertising, and advertising that rolls and switches and is a little bit more dynamic than just static advertising.
What's the timing? That you
Hopefully for the
anticipate?
kickoff of the fall season, be a brand new turf and a new scoreboard. And depending on how well things come in, maybe some fencing too. So we're trying to do as many improvements as we can, staying within the budget. Picking away at some of those things.
You said it's being funded by a private donation. Are we saying who the donation is? Are they?
We haven't received it yet.
Oh, okay.
It,
All right.
But it'll be coming.
It's in the works. Okay.
It'll show up on a board agenda.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Okay.
As well as the donation from the Booster Club as well.
Right.
Because we want them to make sure that they get full credit for that, and that people know that they're making a sizable donation.
I know we have the naming policy, right? So is that the thought, is that it's going to be named after the donors, or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think
all right.
that's part of it.
Okay.
So we'll know more as we get a little bit closer, or right after the first of the year.
Okay, moving on to item 4, superintendent's communications. I'll turn it over to Jeff.
I don't have a ton, except for we have some special guests with us this evening. So our friends from the intermediate school are here to do a quick presentation. So Mrs. McCauley and Mr. Magyar, would you like to take to the podium?
Cassie's got to sit with the dog.
That's by choice.
Yeah.
All right, it's working.
we were talking before we got here, and we don't like talking about things that go well, or just like, we just want to work. So like, we're like nervous and out of our element. I'll be honest with you, but there are a lot of great things happening. When you're looking at the TV, the screen here, the power of yet. Last year our theme was believe, good old Ted Lasso theme, because it was us two taking over half the building for the first time, and we wanted staff to believe in us and just give us a chance, and they definitely did. Before this is Miss McCauley's brainchild, but this is you know, I have to say this. I always like bringing my family into stuff. What we have, and we're wearing the same shirt because this is the power of yet, but it's a great dynamic. I'm very lucky I get to work with someone like this every day. I know I could rely on Tina. She's a great leader. And, you know, my daughter today, my fifth grader, Lauren, she said, hey, make sure you tell Miss McCauley good luck on the presentation. I didn't get anything until I dropped her off at school, and I'm walking about, and she goes, oh yeah, good luck to you too, Dad, because I practiced with her a little bit, but there's your good luck, Miss McCauley. But what we have, we're lucky, and I love working with her and with the staff.
And I would say the same thing about Mr. Magyar. He encourages my crazy ideas and embraces them and just goes with the flow with me. So with the power of yet, as we were planning this summer, we were like, where are we going with the intermediate school? What are our goals? What do we want to look for? And it's that we're not there yet. And so then that turned into a conversation about feedback from the staff when we got spring testing results, that our students have a fixed mindset. And so we then embedded this in everything that we're doing with the students and the teachers. And so flipping that script with the students to be more growth mindset. So instead of saying, I can't do it, thinking I can't do it yet, asking questions, asking for help. And so we've been really embedding and encouraging that with our students. We did our PBIS, positive behavior interventions and supports, kick off to the school year, where we read the magical yet with the students and embedded and tied things that we believed in them and their learning and asking questions and trying first before just going, oh, I can't do it. And hopefully, and we're starting to see some of that growth in our data and the things that you're going to hear about.
All right. So who we are, there's a lot we could talk about. So we had to shorten a little bit, but just in general, because I don't want to be the brunt of Mr. Harrison's jokes like Dr. Martin here. So, and we got our day to talk. So we want to let you know about the hard work with academics, the PLCs, how hard our teachers are working, the PBIS program, just the culture in general. So that's what we're gonna be giving you a brief idea about tonight. And if you really want to see it, you are always welcome. I encourage you. Like, if you want to see it in action, the staff even said, hey, have them see it. It's because they're proud of what they do, and they know what we're doing is good for kids. So on the academic side of things, these are just some of the things that we're doing. But under ELA, CKLA, which is the core knowledge language arts, good old what we're adopting K-8 now, which is encouraging to hear, is if we go that route. But last year, this was totally brand new with the science of reading. But what's been wonderful, just seeing the transition of the staff, how, you know, it's uncomfortable when you try something brand new, and it's like, whoa, this is a lot. We got to learn it. To plan is a lot, because we've been in the trenches with them, and it's not as simple as just pull out a book and here we go. There's a lot of hours that go into this. But it started changing in February, and this year it's been wonderful. The way they have adapted, figured things out. They're fine tuning it, and it's the assessments we were talking about even today. We want to get the assessment right. We want to see that the kids really are showing us what they know. How can we perfect this program using it and what we already know? But what's even more important, the teachers are making it real. So they're learning like real things, just not historical, but about the human body. So in third grade, they're using noodles to create the to make the human body, just the structure of the skeletal structure. Fifth grade, they got because of the foundation, they received a grant. So when they are hitting those topics like the Aztecs here, they made masks. And when we learn about the Renaissance, they're going to take bars of soap and they're going to carve and create like they did during the Renaissance, these great pieces of artwork. So they want to make it real for the students. And that doesn't happen without CCALA because it's very focused on the background knowledge and the vocabulary. And we're noticing an uptick in kids improving in that based looking at data, which is fantastic because that is really hard. That's a hard thing to do. But talking to the teacher, the rigor of this program is really tough. And when we were talking, just when they have say a fourth grade book that the student has to read, the rigor's still there, but not as tough as CCALA. They notice the students reading it easier. It's just like it's coming more natural to them. So the teachers are even noticing this. I want to for the writing revolution, and we're going to talk about a little bit more and the race writing formula. Like going into last year, it is that alignment, and I started seeing fifth grade, and what that means when they're writing a paragraph, you restate the question, you answer it, you cite the evidence, and then you got to elaborate and explain. In fifth grade, they call it rate, where find text evidence. But this is powerful because it's forcing students to really think about what they're writing, and it shows the teacher, hey, this is what the student knows. So last year, about probably February, I told third and fourth grade, I'm like, we're doing this. We have to find something. So grade level to grade level kids know what the writing looks like. It has to look the same to them. Because if the teachers in third grade teach it different, they teach it different in fourth and teach it different in fifth, you're going to see writing is really hard and that can't be added to their plate. So we did that, and looking at our scores, third grade last year after the fall test, they were at 2.5 was the average score. We doubled. We were at 4.9. Fourth grade was at 5.7 was the average score. Fifth grade, they were over 7. To get an 8 on the state test, the computer grades it. It is really challenging to get to that. That is not, they would be okay writing in probably college if you get the 8 on the state test. It really is that hard. But this fall, our third grade teachers, they jumped on the race writing strategy right away, and they scored a 3.5. So they're over a point than last year. And historically, looking at the last 4 years, that's the highest score we've had in writing. So having a formula and kids understanding it's something simple, it does work, which leads me to the writing revolution. This is our game changer. The part I know we realize our students can restate, they can answer, and they can cite evidence. They get really good at it, and that's part of CCALA. But that elaboration, explain piece, which is very hard to do because now you have to come up with something on your own. That's where our grades 3 and 4 need that support. And the writing revolution, how it's incorporated in our just not in ELA, but it could be done in math, it could be done in science, social studies. And I have to give a shout out to our art teachers. They're writing in the class. And I saw it with second graders, and Mr. K, that was Mr. Noto, and Mr. K, he's like has a ton of samples.
Like walks around like.
Yeah. So
He gets super excited.
this is going to allow a high quality of writing output for our students, that explanation piece, because they can do that. They're writing like they're in high school and college. And that's what we're striving for. Because I struggled in writing, and I don't want them to struggle. That was always my push when I taught. You are not going to suffer like I did when it came to writing. You are going to get this. So that is a big push. Today's training conversation was fantastic. It's going to happen. It's going to take time, but this is going to happen. And I can't wait to see the results down the road. For math, our math is awesome, but it's because, our teachers work extremely hard. They're never satisfied. That's something I have to make very clear. Even though our scores were very good, they're not satisfied. They're constantly looking at data. They want to keep improving and making it better. They want 100%. They want the very best. And I get to see this. I get to witness this. We're looking at test questions. We're using, the depth of knowledge. And I'll even talk about that a little bit later. But we want we want the students, all of them to achieve and show growth. But there's a lot of discussion, even with math, looking at it, how do we make it better? So this is our math for accelerated, just so people know, in fourth grade, they get all of fourth grade and some of fifth grade math, kids that, they're very strong at math. But then in fifth grade, they get the rest of fifth grade and then they get all of sixth. So when they leave fifth grade, the kids that are in fifth grade accelerated, they're taking a sixth grade test. And that doesn't only show up, on our end, but because a lot of, here's something, I coming to this district, our kids that are very good at math, that's not a normal trend in most schools.
Correct.
There's 90 kids in fifth grade math. When we talk, I've been to some gifted coordinator meetings. That is not a common trend amongst this area. And these are like some of the best schools. We have very strong students and the results do show it. But they do succeed. And what we keep coming back to is it's not just about a test, teaching them to be problem solvers. And that's one thing we truly focus on when we're looking at our math students. Social studies and science, our students get this every day, whether it's science or social studies. And I'm going to tell you why this is so important. It creates that background knowledge that CKLE does a great job with, but social studies and science, they are needed to give our students even more of that background knowledge. So they get it every day, whether it's science or social studies. Our teachers, like for fourth grade, I guess it used to be a semester. Well, if we, get a semester this and a semester that, the problem with that is if we get a new kid and they come in the second semester, they don't get the rest of that content. Well, we can't do that. Then we did quarters. There's still big gaps. So they worked very hard. We did, let's try this the first quarter. Let's try every other week. Then we realized we need a little bit more time. So let's look at a couple, let's try, or it was like every 2 days. Then they're like, nope, it's too much of a quick turnover. Let's do every other week. So we are trying to fine tune how we can maximize social studies and science in our classrooms. And that's because of the conversations we have with the teachers. But science, our third and fourth grade teachers, they made it a big deal of we have to make sure we're getting science taught because our fifth grade students take a test and we have to help our colleagues out. This is super important, but also it helps our kids to be better problem solvers. So we make a diligent effort when we did the scheduling to make sure this happens and that they are getting a good amount of science and social studies. But with our fifth grade teachers, this one's awesome. When it comes to the math and science, especially the science, we look at the standards, we're looking at the pacing, but what's been really cool working with them is we are using their tests, our test released items. And we are looking, that's the students' tests. And because we want them to be exposed to the challenges that are presented, the problem solving. And when we're looking at these, we're not just looking at, okay, it's a test question, it's good. No, is it a hard enough question? We look at the depth of knowledge. And the way they break it down is 1, 2, and 3. 1 is pretty easy. 2 is it's a solid one, but we are looking for 3. We want these kids to be exposed and solve it. And then they come together and they look at how they did and we talk about it. So they put a lot of hard work into this for science. For band and orchestra, Trisha Asti, Rachel Burkholder, John Pasternak, and Jen O'Neill. My hat goes off to them. A lot of planning in the summer. We last year tried to have band and orchestra during the day. Not enough practice. And we just not enough. We tried it, it wasn't enough. So we're like, let's try to do it before school. And we found a way to make it work. And then we have to give thanks to our transportation and administrative office here at Central because they were like, we're going to help you support this because what happens if every kid can't get a ride to school? Well, we're going to have 4 stops and then we'll pick those kids up so they can be part of band or orchestra. Orchestra played a few weeks ago. They sounded so good. Like I heard them last year. They were good. I heard them this year and I was like, holy smokes. Because it was drastic change. And our band concert's on the 16th. My daughter also plays orchestra and her stuff's next week. So I hope I'm not mixing that up. I can't wait to hear them play. But the hard work, it's definitely being seen. And last but not least, the schedule to maximize our learning opportunities, that win time, what does a student need? But I gotta give a shout out to my partner in crime here.
My brain.
Tina is she's a talent when it comes to schedule, and the way I operate is someone's better than you at something, get out of the way and let them run with it. And our schedule, it's not perfect, but it has made drastic improvements. And our goal is to maximize that learning time, not to waste any time. And as much, many Saturdays, started probably in January, end of January, many Saturdays. We, now we're seeing some things that we're already talking about for next year. But the staff's included in this, and that's how we really truly maximize the learning opportunities and that win time for what kids need during whether it's intervention or enrichment. So that's the academics that happen on a weekly basis in our school. This one, PLC, I'm very lucky the staff that we have to work with and the PLC leaders. I'm not going to go through each one of these, but we either are focusing on data-driven decisions or curriculum. Sometimes it's curriculum back to back because it's something important, but you gotta have the data though, Dave. You gotta have data. You gotta have the data. But every meeting, pretty much, I would say 99% of it the discussion is this. And our staff works really hard to make sure we perfect this and understand it and get it. The one at the bottom, I think is really valuable. And we started doing a little bit of this at the beginning, before the school year started, but the alignment, we're at the infant stages, but the staff is hungry for this. They really do support each other, and they want to know what each one does so they could build off of the great work. And when I got to work with second and third grade and we talked about writing, they would have went all day. Just the conversations that were happening, but they were super engaged and trying to figure out how do we help our kids get better at writing. It's because they know that's one of the hardest things to do, which we're going to find out here in a second. But this is our PLCs, the hard work. We meet every week, and they go to work. They do a great job. So I'm very lucky to work with them. So why is writing challenging? This, as you're looking, that red box, you see how it says extremely limited? When we're trying to learn, that working memory piece is trying to get everything in and try to make sense of it. And there's a lot that goes on. And then it tries to put it all in the long-term memory. The problem is it can't put it all there right away. So it takes time for information and what the work the students are doing to go to that long-term memory. And then they have to, once it's there, then they got to bring it back and also have the working memory going while they're trying to do something, especially with writing. So what happens when you're trying to write and what's happening with that working memory? You go to the next slide. This is everything that's going on in an 8-year-old's mind when they're just trying to write a sentence, not a paragraph, a sentence. So this is everything they have to think about. The physical actually writing. And if we have to type, we have to get to that too, but we have to first learn to write. The spelling, capitalizing, the syntax and the semantics. Who am I talking to? What words do I use? When do I use a comma? This is what we're teaching our 8th graders to do. Our 8th graders, my bad. Our 8-year-olds. Yeah, they'll be 8th graders. But writing is very, very complicated. It's very tough. And that information that they're getting from CKLA and trying to learn it and have that background knowledge, but then we got to put it to paper. And we take it for granted. I'll just write it. Here's the question. But it's a lot of modeling. And that's what we talked about today in our training, which was fantastic. And we realized as a group 3 through 5, we have to model. And it has to be an I do, we do together, and then you do. And it has to be a slow process because if we show it once and expect people to get it, it's not going to work. But the beauty of the writing revolution, it is easy to model. The kids are engaged. We have used it already, 3 through 5. The kids love writing. We're hearing it. So this is what goes on in the working memory. So here's a math example. This is from our math book. it might be hard to see, but if you look at the question, the kid could just answer it. It says, what is a product of 2 and 0.73? And, Tyler chose B as the correct answer. How did she get that answer? And then this is one of the amazing strategies. It's called because, but, so. So they could simply just answer it and they're done. But what it'll truly show us whether they got it or not. But more importantly, it's going to help us learn how to that explanation, elaboration piece that could be done in every single subject area. And this is where we're moving to, is a strategy because, but, so. This is only one. We're going slow. It's the one we start with. If a kid could do this for a math problem and answer it and write about it and explain and elaborate, they got it. And then if we keep doing this, it becomes automatic. And the kid doesn't have to use their working memory so much to do it. They know what to do. So try something on you folks so you could get a true taste of this. You can't write any of this down, okay? I'm going to give you a phone number. I'm going to say it twice, okay? No writing. You ready? 212-982-6492. Say it again. 212-982-6492. Got that memorized, right? Now say it to the person next to you backwards. Go ahead. You only got like 4 minutes to do it though. We got to write the answer down.
289-212.
You got it right. I did. You got it right or not.
So some of us probably got this, right? Stay by the microphone, I'm sorry. I'm not used to standing behind the microphone. Some of us probably is easier. Some of us was really challenging. But you really had to think. This is just a small taste of this is what it's like for a kid trying to write. It's hard. You got to retrieve that information. And okay, how do I remember it? Then how do I write it down? How do I make sense of this? So, school's hard. Writing's very hard. But we're going to figure this out and we are going to be the best at it. That's our mindset. So those are the academics every week that we go through every day, every week here at intermediate school. Now our amazing PBIS program.
So as I mentioned earlier with the power of yet, PBIS is our positive behavior interventions and supports, and it's really supporting our tier 1 students. So it's our support system for kids doing the right thing. So I believe most of you have seen me at a football game with red tickets, and that's where the kids would get a ticket if they were with their adult. They're doing the right thing. So the PBIS team has really pushed me out of my comfort zone because they said, let's do a cart and they catch out. I'm like, yeah, I see all the negatives of that, kids stealing tickets, kids crying, that's where my brain automatically goes. On the flip of it though, it has been absolutely amazing this year. Today was a Win Wednesday day because the cart comes at their win time. So we're not interrupting core instructional time. The kids are saving tickets. After the first day, I looked at Bob and I'm like, I can't push this cart around all day. And I reached out to a few of the PSO and graciously they took it over, which I am loving everything that they've done. They've bought us a new cart. They're getting things donated. They were super excited today to be going around with the kids and getting tickets and the candy and cashing all the different things out. We do fill the jar for grade level rewards. 3rd and 4th grade love choice seating. Today, the PBIS team, pray for me when this day happens, is we're playing music at lunchtime for the 5th grade and maybe doing a dance at the end. We'll see in my comfort zone on that one. Last year, which has been since the building's been open, Be Your Best Bistro, the feedback from the intermediate staff was sitting at the table with crowns on is lit kitty and our kids won't go. So last year we worked with the high school team and high school guests come down and eat lunch with our 3, 4, 5-year-old 5th graders, sorry, years now, who have modeled and demonstrated our character strong word of the month. So this month, I believe, is empathy. And so our SEL teachers are making the connection within their lessons in SEL. And that is their character strong. And then the teacher selects one student that gets to eat at bistro, bring a friend with them, and also get to eat with the high schoolers. Mr. Yanaglass and Mr. Harrison and Miss Dr. Martin were our guests at our bingo. We do all school bingo on our party days. It was great watching Craig be swarmed by children. I have pictures for anyone that wants.
I would like to know where my picture is on this slide.
Well, from when we did the cooking, I mean, that picture.
There's proof that this happened.
There it was. He was swarmed by children. So we developed from the PBIS. They said party days are always just a little crazy. And could we do something to end? So at 2:45, we do all school bingo. We do it through a Google Meet. You can hear the kids yelling when they get bingo. They get to come to us or now our guest callers to get candy. We do special things for the teachers where they can come get a gift card, and it's just really bringing that community together. Secrets out, the guest callers for winter parties is the high school team is coming down, the admin team's coming down to be our callers so the kids can start making connections with them. And Mr. Wyckoff, because he didn't get to come last time, he's coming also to help us. It's been great. We've been doing a lot of collaboration with the high school team, with the high schoolers coming. They also come at various times to volunteer during wind time. They're doing flashcards and reading and things like that with them. Can you go? I talk way faster than Bob. Come on now. So culture. Bob and I was like, we have to have an identity as an intermediate school. So last year with believing in us and really building that culture, we've already shared about the power of yet. This year, as the school year started, we started off great. One thing we noticed was that, like, hey, our teachers really need to hear from the kids how awesome they are. So we created a staff shout out. Every one of those little cards, it's by Bob's office in the hallway, is every single staff member, and even our special education aides, not just our classroom teachers, handwritten thank you to a teacher, a shout out. If you get a moment, please come and read them because some of them are hilarious. Like, I like your hair. Like, they are definitely true to kids. The next one, which it's been rolled out, getting back to our 90s roots. We have DJ Eminem in our beatbox. And so each staff lounge has a beatbox. And in the beatbox, the teachers are recognizing each other and catching colleagues so they can fill out a little slip. And so what Bob and I will do is show up with our music, which kids are and we'll read some of them to the teachers. We're gonna randomly select. When it's a beatbox day, all of them that are in there will then go to the teachers so they can see. I wanted to share a few. One was to a teacher, even on my worst days, you make me smile. You're an excellent teacher, but a better friend. Another one was from a classroom teacher to the IS that supports. You help me so much with accommodations in my classroom. You are truly a teammate. And so that's just examples of what it is. And then I also brought the staff member gets some M&Ms. So I brought some for you. I'll give you some once we get done. Bob and I really, really strive every day to get to every single classroom, not only to check in with the teachers, but check in and get eyes on the students. Some days are a little more challenging than others, depending on which day it is. But we do really feel modeling and doing that for the staff, then they reciprocate it back and then to our students. One thing I will share, and I don't know if you've even realized, with the shout outs and things, a 5th grade teacher has taken it upon herself, her ELA blocks. The students are writing personalized thank you notes. My school picture from last year was on there, and it was just a nice paragraph written about it, but they did it for every staff member, even our K2 staff. So that's where modeling and showing that behavior is now starting to be implemented or modeled then by our teachers to our students.
And then another teacher was featured today in our training. Yep, teacher day in our training. They're getting a nice email from the student, and they were all excited, like, oh my goodness, I got an email from the student, and they were all excited. So yeah, it's that motivation, and even as adults, we need it too. The classroom visits, it's a huge part of what we need to do because our staff likes knowing that we're coming around and they can rely on, hey, if there's something going on, they know they're going to be able to grab us and we're going to hear it right away. I love it because I'm Miss Madigan's class. They always ask me questions. A lot of times I can't answer them. I get them wrong.
The spell.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, all right, here we go. And you can just see the look in the kids' eyes. But even though we're for a short time, it's building that relationship with those students, and it's really important. And that leads us to, the BLT survey. When we were asking our BLT, when tests come out, our staff, they take it hard. They want 100%, and it's our job is to keep them, hey, you're doing an amazing job, but we got to think about the kids. Don't forget about the kid, the whole kid. And I said, what do we do really well and super important? And they came up with relationships. And, I'm thinking, so this Saturday I have house stuff to do. I'm probably gonna be wondering why am I saying this, but I'll get to it. It makes sense. Trust me. I had to go in my crawl space and install installation. That was fun. I think I pulled a muscle. And then Sunday I had to clear out the main sewer line in my house. I was like, need some luck here. Why do I say this? Everybody in this room, but all 1,600 or 1,800 people that walk in that building every day, everybody has a story. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not so good. And test scores are important, but one thing that we strive to our staff, we have to take care of our kids. They're our kids. And sometimes school doesn't matter for them that day because there's something more going on. And one thing you will see our staff do when that kid's coming in crying or they see something, they're putting their arm around their shoulder, making sure they're okay. Or they're reaching out to us, our amazing counselors, say, what else can I do? We see this all the time. And I have to keep stressing them, we can't get away from that. Because that kid that comes to visit you that you had in 3rd grade when they're an adult, married or have a job, it wasn't because of what they did on a 5th grade math or a 3rd grade math test. It's how you treated them. And that's really important. And our staff, they take that serious, which leads us to our last piece, culture of listening. It is busy getting to every class, but one thing we try to do too is making those phone calls. I mean, I know we live in a world of emails and we've got to move fast and text messages, but a phone call goes a long way. I called many families and they say, I'm surprised you're calling. I go, well, that's what we do. You gotta hear my voice. So we're all on the same page. And it does go a long way having those face-to-face conversations. But what's really important, we have to listen. And, when Mr. Harrison's talking about, we're Brecksville Broadview Heights. We're special. That's what makes us special. Our kids do very well. We take care of them. And you don't get that everywhere, especially when you achieve as high as we do. And, we're very lucky that we get to work with the amazing staff and the kids every single day. It's an opportunity and we love it. And we're just, thanks for giving us a chance to talk a little bit about our school this is every day, every week. That's what happens. So.
Anybody have any questions or anything you'd like to know more about the intermediate building? Before we let Bob and Tina go or off the hook?
So I'm guessing the BLT survey does not have anything to do with sandwiches. What is BLT?
Means building leadership team, but
Okay.
yes, we do reference the sandwich quite often. Because they are good.
Lisa's gotten pretty good at those. She's usually the one that checks us on what's BLT again, or
Yeah.
I had a comment, a question, and then just feedback. Is that cool?
Yeah.
So my comment is to both of you, thank you for such a in-depth presentation. I love to hear all the positivity because I know that there is so much of that happening in that building. So I thank you for sharing that. What makes the intermediate portion of the building so special. And I loved how you talked about the rigor of instruction. I think like not many really understand that. I know I'm old, and when I went to school, I was being taught really a lot of procedure, a lot of memorization. And now education is so different. And you described that, you know, perfectly. We're teaching kids how to think, not what to think, how to think,
Yep.
how to approach a problem, how to work through the frustration of a problem and to solve it, right? And so I just think it's important that the community know that it is, education is very different than it was even really 10 years ago, right?
Mhm.
And so that was just kind of my comment. Thank you for all the positivity. And then my question is, I heard, you know, Mr. Harrison, Mr. Yanaglas are bingo callers. The high school's gonna do bingo callers. When does the BOE? When does the Board of Ed get to be a bingo caller?
You're-
So just
and if you want-
just let us know. Just-
Valentine's Day is the next one.
Okay, just asking.
And we skimmed over it. Sorry, Craig, I'm going a little longer. We're in the development of a intermediate school 100-day reading challenge. And
Okay.
so after we, at our preliminary look at our third grade OST scores from the fall, we're like, kids need books in their hands and they need to be reading. We
Yeah.
want to make reading cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm actually working with the communications team. Gabe is the one that's my prime person who helped us design our Power of Yet logo with it to get it a little branded. I'm thinking of reading a book, but we're gamifying it and we're
Mhm.
doing roadblocks with it and they
Mhm.
will level up and they'll power up. So I'll be reaching out if you want to be a guest reader when they level up into classrooms. Also, I want some pictures of people reading and showing, like I'm going to go to the high school and hopefully get some of the high school kids, just catch them reading and showing that reading's a cool thing to do. Part of it is it's going to be transdisciplinary because we're going to allow kids to get extra points to be able to, if they do a book, like a book review, so that then we'll share them digitally with the kids so the kids can go on and see, oh, this genre, that book, oh, it took them about 2 hours to read. Maybe I want to read that book, or here's a summary, or where did I make connections with it? Also, and the math teachers are like, teen, our kids are way better at math than that, but someone has to total the points. Someone has to do that, but getting kids in the classroom to be owning it and doing that. Mr. Magyar and I've already decided we're thinking 2.5 million points as the school goal, which then he'll have a mohawk and I will have pink hair. So we're working on making it be that the kids think it's cool and want to be picking up those books and get it automatic that they're reading and getting that into their hands. So I'll reach out when we get a little closer with all the details.
You wind them up and let them go. And this is what you get tonight. So both Tina and Bob, I'm not stopping questions, but I just want to comment, make a couple of comments. You know, 2 years ago, or now 3 years ago, when we opened the mega elementary building, as so many people referred to it then, and all the struggles that we heard about communication and it's too big and impersonal and all of that. I challenge community members that if they still believe that that building is that, take a tour. Call me, call Bob, call Tina, come and see for yourself the wonderful things that are happening in the building. We heard about half of the building tonight, and we only heard probably about a quarter of the wonderful things that are happening in the intermediate building. But I get the opportunity to be in that building quite often, and the things that they say about our staff and our students is nothing but the truth, is what they're saying tonight. And sometimes I hear people who get emotional or upset in a given day or a bad day that a student may have. That is a wonderful place to teach. It's a wonderful place to learn, and it's just a great place to enjoy. So I challenge our community members who may have a different opinion about our mega elementary building, come see it for yourself. And we'll be happy to give anybody a tour at any time to see this awesome stuff that's happening every day. So thank you guys for being here tonight on such a crummy night and extending your day beyond what it normally is. Thank you for the passion that you bring to not only an intermediate building, but also to the meeting tonight. So thank you so much.
Bless you.
No, I just want to apply one of your lessons, if I may. Okay. Mr. Harrison invited you here tonight because he wanted the board to see the great things that were going on in our intermediate school. And you guys gave a very detailed presentation, but it was very informative. So going forward, we hope you come back.
did there?
Impressive. Super impressive.
All right. Thank you so much.
I did,
Yes.
Mr. Magyar, I did want to, your newsletters, your weekly letters are fantastic. Yeah. So,
It's funny. It's funny you say that, cause I try to, I don't know, put, who I am in these, and Miss Tina McCauley helps me with stuff, what we're gonna put in there. But, when I meet parents and I'm like, yeah, I'm the principal, Bob Magyar. They're like, oh, you're the guy that sends the newsletters. So yeah, it's me. I probably had someone else, but that's me. But, no, I want it to be genuine, but I understand it's not easy being a parent. I'm living it. I got a 5th grader, an 8th grader, and a junior, and it's hard. School's not easy. There's challenges that come with it. Kids aren't perfect, and it's good that they get to know that. And parents they really care around here. And sometimes I try to say, hey, don't beat yourself up too much. You're doing a heck of a job with these kids, because we get to see another side of it too. So appreciate that feedback. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 5, treasurer's communications. I'll turn it over to Craig.
Hey. Only an hour we have for this.
I'm sorry, Jeff, were we done? Were we done with you? Yes, okay.
Like, yeah, I did see recognition, so I wasn't sure. Okay,
All right.
perfect. 2 things that are not listed here, just real quick. The board is aware, but just so the community knows, we'll be sharing out a new board management software link. We're changing our platform from Board Docs in January to a program called Board Book. So we've been running some of those parallels in live time. And then we just got the board members access. Hopefully everyone was able to get in and check it out. So coming in January, we will have a new link on our website, just so the community knows that that is coming. The stuff will eventually be moved over and archived, but we will still have access to board docs for any historical things for the time being. So that's not just immediately going away. The second part was that recently we had our first meeting of the SGO committee, which is a subcommittee of the Community Finance Alliance. The SGO committee is this subcommittee is for the scholarship granting organization. And I was just telling Jeff, because he wasn't able to be there, I said, this is the most motivated group I've ever probably worked with of people. So we had a meeting, and in the process of this, we had a chance for one of our kind of experts who's put one of these together, explain what it is, decide whether we're going to do it, pick a name, go through the bylaws, and elect officers in 1.5 hours. So this project is moving very quickly. There are some public schools that are doing this. We were just talking, there's a couple other schools that have it and are looking to do this. But if you are, this is a way to offset some of those costs for tuition and other instructional items that can provide relief to families. So Nordonia is the first one that had it. Hudson has one. And was there another one? Aurora's starting one, and we are not far behind. So this is something that this group of people has really taken by the horns and is like processing quickly. So we'll be working on getting some of that information out. And the best part about this, and again, we will have a lot more materials, is that it's a dollar for dollar type of incentive. So as long as you meet the qualification thresholds, a single person can donate $750 to the SGO, or a married couple can do $1,500, and you get back 100% from the state. So it is a dollar for dollar program that in Nordonia last year was over $250,000, I think it was, that they raised. So it helps with the low income and poverty based people who can't afford kindergarten tuition. And then they were able to provide refunds to the other people, because they had extra money left over in their district. So very passionate group of people, and they are moving things forward. It's completely separate of the school, so it comes in like as a donation. So we'll be sharing more of that information out there. They have a person who's looking at web design and everything else to get all of this off the ground, but an incredible group of people that is just trying to move this along very quickly. So it'll take a couple years to ramp up, but it'll involve some communication and coordination with CPAs, so people understand it, like in the communities. So if we know CPAs, We want to get that out so that people will have the opportunity to make those donations and then get the money immediately back, basically. So that's hot off the press.
Is this a new program from the state or has this been around?
Not necessarily. It's newer to public schools. It's been used a lot for private schools. So that's the big change, is that public schools are able to do this. Again, if your district doesn't charge tuition or there's no eligible expenses, it doesn't make sense. But for districts like ours, and these are other districts that are charging like a kindergarten tuition, I don't believe Nordonia does it for preschool. So that's an area we're going to look at as well. And then we looked at, I think it was possibly like the general fees and things like that, some of the instructional supplies fees that it can help with as well. So those are things that once the donation comes in, this district can do what they want with it. But it could provide some good relief to some of the families. Great. So yeah, very exciting. So couple slides here on just the finances for November. Things are looking good. Hopefully everyone had a chance to take a look at this as we kind of work our way through the 25-26 school year. We are about halfway in. So again, we opened with $19.2 million, $58 million we're hoping in total receipts for the fiscal year, $58 million in expenditures. Right now, we're pretty close to what we expected, doing a little bit better since we got that as of right now due to that refund from the auditor's office for the reappraisal. 122 days of cash on hand is expected by the end of the year. So the cash flow is currently looking okay. This is on the expenditure side of breakdown. So you can see $36 million in salaries, about 14 in benefits, which those are our two largest areas, as we know. Comparing from last year to this year, the blue and the red, a little bit more this year than we did last year. So it's about $192,000 over the forecast in total at the moment, but we also have a large amount more on the revenue side. So it's not to be concerned about at the moment. Positive momentum. Revenues are exceeding the forecast by $1.1 million as of right now, demonstrating our strong collections as well as our interest and investment earnings. Controlled spending, we are continuing to monitor this. So everything is trending right now on par. Salaries are just a smidge above where the forecast is, but benefits are trending a smidge below. So overall, everything is looking good there. So it maintains our strong cash position.
Craig, what's the little comment on the left about the improved state funding?
So we do have an increase in state funding technically, based off of the budget bill that passed because we were receiving that performance incentive. So the total amount we do receive this year is a couple $100,000 more than we got last year, which is what it's registering. It's not a substantial amount, but it is technically for our district, it is improved.
And that's like a one-time thing because of what happened. It's like a bonus. It's not like we can count on it every year.
It's in the biennium budget. So we also next year, like this year was a bigger portion. And I believe next year's maybe $150,000 or $200,000 more in total is what it's projected for, as long as our performance indexes over there hold up, right, Dr. Martin? Because that is a newer part of the formula to do that, because we get a performance bonus basically for having good metrics. And then lastly, just again, some economic considerations. If you're nerding out in the economy like I was today, we saw that the Fed dropped interest rates another 25 basis points or 0.25%. But our cash balances are projected to decrease steadily until tax collections. We are going to start getting very trim right now as some of these payments and stuff go out until our tax revenues start coming in January. So I only see the bank account getting smaller and smaller and smaller with every set of payments we send out, which gives me heart palpitations until the middle of January. So we will have some of those reduced cash reserves until that stuff comes in. So we're working every day to make sure we're trying to manage our expenditures as much as we can, knowing that our revenues are not substantially increasing to keep up with the pace of inflation, which is still sitting at 3%. So we're doing what we can. Any questions? Okay. I guess I didn't take an hour. Cash position and annual spending plan are there for your review.
Okay, moving on to item 6, community communications. Does anyone in the room want to be heard? No. We are going to move on then to the next item, item 7, other board business. Item A. Okay, well, I'm going to go out on a limb and see if the board is okay with me being president pro tem, or does somebody else wish to be pro tem? Good with that? Okay. Okay, item A, resolve to approve Mark Dosen as President Pro Tem for the January 7th, 2026 organizational meeting. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kramer,
Yes.
Mrs. Bykowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes,
Mr. Dosen.
Yes. Am I allowed to vote on myself?
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes.
You don't financially gain.
5-0. Item C. Whereas ORC section 3319.01 provides for the appointment of a superintendent for a city school district, and whereas Jeffrey D. Harrison has agreed to continue in the position of superintendent for the Board of Education of Brecksville-Broadview Heights City School District in accordance with the terms of a contract of employment effective August 1st, 2026. Now therefore be it resolved that the board employ Jeffrey D. Harrison as superintendent for the term beginning August 1st, 2026 and extending through July 31st, 2031. And be it further resolved that the board president is authorized and directed to execute a contract of employment with Mr. Harrison on behalf of the Brecksville-Broadview Heights City School District Board of Education upon such terms and conditions as agreed and as may be required to bring about the legal effect of the terms of the resolution. And be it finally resolved that it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this board concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of the board in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
make some comments on the other end, on the other side of the vote, and other board members are welcome to also, but if everyone's okay, why don't we do the roll call?
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kramer,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. So I'm completing my 14th year as a member of this school board, and I can tell you in my experience, the most important responsibility for a Board of Education is to find, hire, and retain the best superintendent and the best treasurer, and everything else is secondary. Because if you don't have good leadership, it can be a struggle. And we have great leadership in this district, with both our superintendent and our treasurer. And so the board has been thrilled with the performance of Mr. Harrison and the direction that our school district is heading in. All arrows are pointing up, and we are just elated that Jeff wishes to stay here and hopefully retire from here. So it is very much appreciated that we were able to work out an arrangement to extend him for another 5 years. So congratulations, Jeff, and welcome aboard still, I guess. Yep.
Are we clapping?
Any other comments or comments from the board?
I just echo everything that you said. We have been tremendously fortunate. And I am so pleased that our momentum is indeed going up when so many things in this world are not. And I appreciate that. And it's only because of the strength of your leadership.
We are incredibly fortunate. If you've ever worked, I mean, and I have been in a district where there's been a lot of turnover and turmoil at the highest level of leadership, and it's very, very taxing on a district. So this district is incredibly fortunate to have such strong leaders in our superintendent and our treasurer, but we're talking about Mr. Harrison tonight. So I'm ecstatic that you're happy to return for 5 years with us. You've brought a lot of needed initiatives to the district, talked about professional development, challenging the staff to engage in more innovative professional development. The community engagement has really, you've increased that, and just appreciative of everything that you have brought to the table for us.
And ditto everything Tish, Mark and Ava said. And I'm just happy that I get to vote on this at my last meeting.
Yeah.
Yes, and ditto to everything everyone said, and thank you for all you've done in the last couple of years. So I'm happy that you want to stay with us. We haven't scared you away.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast it's gone, you know, the 3 years, or almost 3 years now, and sitting in that chair the first night that you guys hired me. I don't take this for granted at all. The support I get from the Board of Education and the other individuals in the room, is truly special. It's a special place. I told Mark through this process, it's an awkward process to have to do, but you know, we got through it pretty easily. And I said, my goal is to retire from this district someday, whenever that is. And then also to be the longest serving superintendent when I do that. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item E. This is just information.
Correct.
Okay, this is the 2026 Board of Education meeting dates. Do we need to do anything with
You don't
it?
have to do anything, just if there's any feedback for Jeff or I as we prepare for the January 7th, if you had a chance to look at it and provide any feedback, these are the current dates that we have. You'll notice that especially with February now and August, we've moved those now in conjunction with the 5-year forecast, just to give us as much data and as time as we can to push those to the 4th Wednesdays, and then also keeping the June one in the 4th, just because that's the end of the fiscal year. So we've looked at our calendars, and just, if you guys don't have any other feedback, this will be what you will see on January 7th. And hopefully you had a chance to look at it as well, Mr. Chase.
Okay, any comments or questions?
Okay.
Okay, we're going to move on to item 8, consent agenda. Item A, resolve to approve certified personnel recommendations. Item B, resolve to approve classified personnel recommendations. Item C, resolve to approve supplemental personnel recommendations. Item D, resolve to approve the check register and bank reconciliation as attached. Item E, resolve to accept donations as presented. Item F, resolve to approve the minutes from the November 19th, 2025 regular board meeting as attached. Item G, resolve to approve consent items A through F. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Well, these should move pretty quickly. It's pretty light this time of year. I have a resignation, 2 unpaid leaves under the certified staffing agenda. Classified, as always, we got quite a bit of action in this classification, some special ed assistants, educational assistants. So a few resignations and a retirement as well. Probably the smallest supplemental list we've had in a long, long
Yeah.
time. 2 volunteers for gymnastics and boys basketball.
Check register and bank reconciliation are there for you. Donations, $700 cash donation to Washington DC Fund, and also donation of t-shirts for the drama club students. And then the minutes as they are here. Just a note, as will be moving to that new board software, is that the previous meetings will stay open, and the meetings will be the signed meeting attachments in our new board software will be attached to the actual meeting after they're approved at the following meeting. So after these ones are signed tonight, if you have approved them, then they will get attached to the November meeting as a signed minute. So it's a little bit different structure, but it keeps everything together with the actual meeting. And you'll notice the attachments will be also listed in the minutes moving forward on our new software.
Any comments or questions? Roll call.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kramer,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9, superintendent's recommendations. Item A, resolve to adopt new revised board policies, final reading. I have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Final reading needs to go into effect now after this meeting, a meeting on approval, and then the work of implementing all of them. As we've said for months, lots of policy changes that don't necessarily change what we do day to day, but small adjustments that we need to make because of mainly new legislation.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kramer,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item C, resolve to approve the 2026-2027 high school course options catalog revisions as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Huge thank you to Mr. Jacob and his team at the high school preparing new options for students. And he was quick to point out that these new options don't mean increase in staffing. These are just additional options for our students. Being a former AP teacher, I'm excited to see another AP course being added to the role. It's a new course. It's AP Business with Personal Finance. If you get a chance, take a look at those curriculum frameworks for each one of these courses. The high school have tackled that initiative as well with a lot of due diligence and fidelity. And if you look at the curriculum frameworks, it walks you right through what that AP Business and Personal Finance class is all about. It's exciting stuff. It's maybe not for our traditional AP student. You know, this is a gateway into AP courses that maybe a student who doesn't consider themselves an AP student. We don't have many of those, but would maybe take advantage of this course. So we're excited to see how that goes, as well as Ceramics 2, which is an extremely popular class at the high school, being Ceramics 1. So thanks to them, we are quickly approaching the scheduling season. That's why this is on the agenda now, so that we can begin to prepare all the paperwork that goes into that.
Comments or questions? Roll
The-
call.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
sorry. The first PDF, when I click on it, it's not attaching. I think
Oh.
it's just a summary of all
Hmm.
the courses being added. So, right. So
Thanks. We'll make sure to get
I'm
that
gonna
corrected.
attach it.
I've never seen that before.
Oh, it's here.
Any other comments or questions?
That's your cheat sheet. When we get that to you.
That's what I thought. And I'm like, then I had to read through each of the curriculum.
Yeah, it's not.
Which I'm
pretty.
sorry was a delight, actually. So.
Roll call.
Mrs. Gaelic.
Yes.
Mrs. Kramer,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item E, resolve to approve the MS ELA textbook adoption as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Martin explained this in great detail.
Any comments or questions? Roll call.
Mrs. Gaelic.
Yes.
Mrs. Kramer,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item G, resolve to approve the high school athletic overnight trips as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So 2 athletic trips for our girls wrestling program.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kramer,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 10, closing items. Item A, announcements. The organizational meeting of the Board of Education is scheduled for January 7th, 2026 at 5 PM at the Education Center. Yeah. Item B, adjournment. Resolve to adjourn the meeting. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kramer,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, that's it for 2025. Everyone have a blessed holiday and a happy new year. We'll see you in 2026.